So today's message feels very blue, very much like is it like sapphire? That like crystal, bright, almost sky blue, super saturated blue, and it's squeezing my vocal cords. So you are being called by Spirit to speak up, to use your voice. And this could mean a couple different things. So perhaps you're in a situation where you feel like you keep biting your tongue and you feel like this is the responsible thing to do, or that this is the ethical thing to do, or maybe you feel like you're going to hurt somebody's feelings or it's not your place to speak, and so you keep biting your tongue. And Spirit is calling on you to figure out a way to communicate using your throat, using your voice, using your wisdom in such a way that is not going to hurt anybody, but is not going to silence you. I'm feeling this like tightness in my whole throat, in my vocal cords, in the neck. And this blue energy of the throat chakra, it wants to be heard. It wants to be in line with the rest of the chakras. It wants a nice grounded root chakra so that it is able to speak freely, so that it is able to express, so that it is in connection with the upper chakras, so that it can express this wisdom that you have, and so that it can express the wisdom that you receive from Spirit. And right now, I'm feeling as if your throat chakra is completely just closed off. And like I said, this could mean a couple things. It could mean that you're biting your tongue. It could mean that you have like been called to teach, that you have been called to mentor, that you have been called to guide somebody, and you feel as if it's again not your place, or as if maybe that there's somebody else that could be a better teacher, or that there's somebody that is more skilled than you, or that there's somebody with more experience in the situation, and you're just being called on to use your very specific wisdom, because there is such power in your specific wisdom and your specific experience that you've lived through, and you're being called to use your voice, and you're being called to actually communicate and share that wisdom, share the lessons, even if you think that they're menial, even if you think that there's not a lesson in there. Even just you communicating with somebody is going to be so, it's, and the universe is going to show you as well. Like, you're going to have somebody that you speak up and they're going to be like, wow, thank you so much for sharing that with me. Thank you so much for guiding me. I would have been absolutely clueless and just like off down the wrong path if you didn't help me out here. Like, it's going to be a divine reflection for you, and you're just going to know, okay, maybe I need to speak up more. Maybe I need to start sharing my wisdom more. Maybe I need to start sharing my experience more. But I'm also getting that there's a story that you've been called to tell, that there's somebody out there specifically that has went through something, and I'm seeing like absolutely crazy. Like, not, and it's something, you live an absolutely ordinary life. Like, you're going to work every day. You're pretending, or not so much pretending, but you are just carrying yourself as if you are so unaffected, to the point that you feel as if you're so detached from this, you are so far removed from the situation that why would you even bring it up? And you're just being called on to tell your story. And I feel like you know exactly who you are. If you're watching this, and you know exactly what that story is. But I'm like, I'm seeing something crazy. Like, perhaps you were taken away, a parent went to prison, is maybe is what I'm seeing, like that you had a parent that was taken away, that went to prison, that did heinous things, and you're embarrassed of what they did, and you're being called to tell that story. There's so much power and there's so much value in you sharing whatever that story is, whoever this message is specifically meant for. And I'm not sure if it's actually that you had a parent go off to prison, but something crazy happened to you. I mean, I say the term crazy loosely, but there was something huge that happened to you, and you have seemingly went on unaffected. But that's where the value is. If you're the one, like where they say, like, right message, wrong messenger, you're the right messenger because you've been able to move on from this experience and remain unaffected. Not that you were unaffected, but literally to the people that you're going to tell this story to, they're going to be so empowered because they've gone through something as well, and you're standing there on the other side, and you are mentally strong and spiritually strong, and you're somebody that they look up to already. So now they're hearing that it wasn't always easy for you, and that's something that you didn't share. So hopefully this message found you, whoever this message, you know, you know, you know, you know. But that is where I'm seeing this blue throat chakra energy. Again, you might even feel in your physical life that there's like a repeated throat infection that you keep getting, or maybe you keep losing your voice. Perhaps you keep feeling like you have to clear your throat and there's nothing there. This is because your throat chakra is blocked. And this blue light that I'm seeing in this message is just wanting to come through because you have all of your chakras. When they're all in alignment, they're like this beautiful rainbow. But right now, yours is like, when you drive past a Walmart and some of the letters have turned off, that's like how your throat chakra looks like right now. Like if you went up like really, really close, you could see that it's like blue, but there's no lights on inside. And that's why it's like this screaming blue message for you. And this is coming through me. I have to be the one to speak to you and give you this message, but you're being called to do the same. It may not be that you're being called to deliver a channeled message from spirit. Maybe you're not even a spiritual worker. Maybe this is your first message that you've ever clicked on that has anything to do with spirit, and you don't even know why you're here. But you know that this is resonating with you and that it found you at the right time. So I feel like whoever you are, just trust that this is the time for you to get in alignment with that blue energy, that you're going to start speaking your truth, that you are going to start, whenever you feel those moments where you're like, and then you get that lump in your throat, that you're going to ground yourself, be terrified, even be extremely nervous, be angry, but still just ground yourself, and you're going to speak. You're not going to spew venom through your words. You're being called to, you're going to spew. You're being called to bring your wisdom. So you're being called, your upper chakras I'm seeing are a lot more connected. It's just the throat chakra. So you're not spiritually turned off right now. Like I said, even if you're somebody that is maybe doesn't consider themselves a spiritual person, your upper chakras that are involved with like your third eye and your spirituality, they're very much awake right now. So you're very much in a place to receive this message. You're in a place to connect with spirit. You're in a place to have your practice, whether you have a religious practice or a spiritual practice, or you're just like stepping into manifestation, you're praying to the universe, you're doing like a witchcraft ritual, whatever it is that you do, this is a perfect time for you because you're in a very receptive time. But you're being called to reconnect with that throat chakra so that you can share that wisdom, because that wisdom is no good if you just keep receiving these messages from spirit and you're just like, oh, that's just my thoughts. I'm just receiving this amazing inspiration from the world. I'm just so smart and intelligent. I guess I should just keep it to myself. Like that's not what spirit wants you to do right now. That's why spirit is screaming blue at you. It's like, we keep giving you these messages. I keep giving you this inspiration. I keep giving you these divine messages to share with people. And I keep putting you in positions where people need to hear your knowledge and they need to hear your wisdom. And you just keep getting that lump in your throat and just tightening and squeezing off and forcing physically in your physical body for that blue throat chakra to just turn off and close down. And spirit is just like, can we just light that up again, please? I changed the bulb. Like, it's just like, please, let's reconnect. But yes, your upper chakras, like your purple and your white, these are all connected for you. So once you connect that with your throat chakra and you just start speaking, everything is just going to spew out for you. It's not like you have any lack of wisdom to share. There's no lack of stories to share. You might even feel like they're like bubbling over, literally wanting to come out, and then there's just like a blockage right here where you can't speak, or even when you go to speak, it's like no words come out. Like, when you physically go to speak and like you physically can't, you're that choked up. Maybe you've been experiencing that, but it's literally when your throat chakra is shut down, it literally will feel like this area has some kind of physical shutdown. And that's what I'm feeling as the energy when I pressed record to give you a message. So I'm feeling that for you. And this may not be something that you need to heal physically. Like these throat infections, if you've been having throat infections, you might be like, why the heck do I keep having throat infections? Like, or maybe you go to the doctor and they're like, you don't have any kind of infection, like that you don't need antibiotics, something like that. But you're like, I keep having a sore throat. I keep losing my voice. And Spirit is just asking you to speak and speak from truth. And you know what's funny about physiology is that you might feel like you're putting on a fake voice. Like a lot of the time, you're putting on maybe a customer service voice at work, or you're talking in a higher register because you feel like that's what the social setting calls for you to be performative. And Spirit is just calling on you to ground yourself and to ground yourself in your voice, to let your larynx drop, to let your throat relax, to let your whole core and your body relax, and for you to be connected with your whole body when you're sharing your truth. And so that is what Spirit wants from you right now. Like literally right now, there's a sense of urgency to this. Like there's a sense of it's going to be uncomfortable. You might even be terrified to make this change, but that it has to happen right now. And I'm seeing that like you are going to realize why it needed to happen right now. Like there's going to be such a humongous change on the other side of that for you because you're going to be able to advocate for yourself. You're going to be able to express yourself. You're going to feel like you've completely leveled up as a human being. Like I'm feeling like this is, have you ever heard like that people say you grow into a new chapter, like spiritually evolve like every 7 years? This is that evolution for you. It may not be at a 7 year milestone, but you've maybe been like feeling stagnant or like feeling like you're waiting for this next level in life, like you've been waiting to feel more mature, like to come into your own, that you've been maybe feeling like, when am I going to stop feeling like a young adult and start feeling like an actual adult? It never happens. But this is going to be that level up for you where you feel more in your divine connected energy, and it's all going to come from just speaking, which is crazy. But what I was going to say, sorry, about the physiology, is that when you speak in a higher register, not necessarily just a higher register, but when you put on a fake voice, like when singers mimic another singer, that strains your vocal cords. That is why I'm saying it manifests physically. When you are trying to mask who you are, when you're trying to mask the sound that you're making, when you're trying to mask the volume of your speech because maybe you're being meek as a mouse because you feel like you need to be more submissive in this situation. Maybe this is somebody that overreacts, or maybe you have a narcissist in your life, and I'm not urging you to pick fights with the narcissist, but I am urging you to speak. So if you're gray rocking with the narcissist and you are trying not to express yourself or dive any deeper into a connection with somebody like that that's toxic in your life, you're being called on to speak and use this wisdom anywhere that you can outside of that. So maybe you have to gray rock within your home right now or something with a narcissist, and that's something that you have to do for your own self-preservation and your own protection. But you do have the power right now to equip other people with the skill set and patterns that you've learned and that you've seen because of your situation. Just using this narcissist as an example, but you can use that to as ammunition for your other friends or your other family members or your other loved ones so that they know, so they're armed, so that they don't get into a situation like that themselves. Like there is so much wisdom that you already have that you're not sharing, and maybe people are literally even asking you and you're saying, well, I don't know. It's like it's up to you. I just want you to make your own decisions. And that's fine. People will make their own decisions, but you're just being called to share your wisdom right now. But what is exciting is that this is a huge change for you. It's not just going to be something reactionary where you choose to speak up and then somebody explodes in your face and you're like, wow, I should have just shut up. This is going to be something that has a trickle down effect throughout the rest of your life, where you're going to learn to advocate for yourself, you're going to learn to speak up for yourself, and you're going to learn that because you did that in this situation, that nothing dangerous happened and you're able to do it again, that you feel stronger, that maybe you feel heard. And in other situations where you're sharing your wisdom, that not only did you feel heard, but that you felt like you actually impacted somebody's life and it was tangible and you felt it in that moment. You felt that you helped somebody. You felt that you gave somebody a ray of hope. And you felt like you maybe helped somebody save themselves from wasting several years of their lives, maybe in a horrible relationship or by going through A to Z, back to B to D to G to H, trying to pursue a career without knowing how to go through the proper steps. And it's going to be those things where you're like, wow, I'm so glad that I spoke up about that because I feel really great that I was able to help somebody and I didn't even know that I was holding a piece of information that was even helpful for somebody. So this is your time. And I feel like whoever you are that is watching this, you know exactly what your scenario is, whether this is meaning that it's like you need to speak up at work and that you need to advocate for yourself to your boss who wants you to come in on all of your days off, and that you've already decided with yourself, like, no, I need my days off so that I can come in rested, so that I can continue to enjoy my job and to keep everything in balance, and that I'm miserable when I don't take my days off and that I can't show up as my best self. Or maybe you feel like you have this story that you need to share, and that this is like your childhood story, and that there was something that was very credible that happened to you, that just sharing that story is going to help maybe even just one person. It doesn't have to be something that like turns into a book. It doesn't have to be like some viral video that you create. It could just be telling this story to one other person and just having that freedom that you've unlocked this entire. Sorry, my camera decided to die on me, so hopefully we can finish off this reading before it dies again. But what I was saying is that once you open up your throat chakra, and even just taking this one opportunity, it's going to be like a trickle effect, like I was saying, and this is going to bring in such a profound change into your life. Like I'm seeing you sitting on top of a pile of money right now, not just like sitting, not just the kind of profound changes like you're going to feel lighter in spirit, you're going to feel more confident, you're going to feel like you've leveled up in maturity, but you're going to be sitting on a pile of wealth, whether that means that you're going to have this wisdom is going to lead you to connections of wealth, whether this wisdom or speaking up is going to lead you into a position of leadership in your job. Something is going to happen for you from this that is leading to you sitting on a pile. I'm just seeing you literally sitting in, like, I'm picturing like Scrooge McDuck, but I'm sure that you're not greedy, but I'm just seeing like a literal pile of cash in a room and you're just sitting at the top of this mountain of money. So that is the visual that Spirit is giving me for you. So hopefully that resonates with you and encourages you to start speaking up, to start sharing your wisdom, to start sharing your truth, to start sharing your trauma, maybe even. And don't you don't need to know how or why that is going to land you into a position of extreme wealth. It doesn't need to be extreme wealth, but I'm just in a position of abundance, but it will, and you will thank yourself